I've started to understand in life that a lot of stuff is attitude based. I've said this a few times in videos in the past that attitude is a massive, massive thing. And I genuinely believe it is. And it's really hard to kind of get somebody to understand how much your attitude can impact so much more around you. And I'll talk about our belief system. And what I mean about our belief system is like our internal belief system about sort of ourselves and sort of the way we interact with the world, not a belief system in terms of like religion and all that sort of stuff. But for me, for example, I have been brought up with a belief system that, you know, good things don't necessarily happen to me. And if good things do happen to me, there's always a like caveat to it. There's always a, okay, you get this, but there's always a catch to good things. So it makes me like subconsciously very aware of especially success. Success is really, really dangerous for me because the more I feel like I'm making grounds in success, shall we say, the more I have this, the more the conscious starts to realize where's that moment, where's that kind of, where's the but to all of this? And you're looking around and it gets weird. Case in point, guess who's got a promotion at work? Which I'll say honestly is absolutely wild. I started 2024 with no job whatsoever. I just had spinal surgery in 2023 and I was going through recovery, and then it's like the place I used to work at decided that, hey, we don't actually want you back. And then I didn't know what was going to happen. I started a new job this year, and honestly, wild things have been happening. I've had more pay rises in the last 9 months than I have in my entire working life. And as of Monday, what are we going to be, 30th? Yeah, as of Monday, the 30th of September, I've got promoted to be like a manager, which is absolutely mental. It's wild. And I can't help but like try and stay focused and stay the course of, okay, this is happening because I'm putting the work in, I'm doing the effort, I'm doing the right things, I've got a good attitude. There's still that little niggle in the back of my mind that's saying, it's only a matter of time before you screw up. Or, there's only so long that you can keep up this facade for and that you're going to get found out. And it's a little bit of imposter syndrome, I guess, coming in. But I'm making a very conscious effort to have a better belief system in myself, to believe that I am very capable to do what I'm doing, else these situations wouldn't be presented to me. It's a belief system which I think is important. So when I talk about belief system, I look at it in two ways. I think there's a belief system that we have that's like, it's basically a subconscious where we know what we're, probably good at, what we're bad at, what impacts us along the day. That's one belief system. And the other side of that is the belief system where we almost physically tell ourselves, I am good at this, so therefore I deserve this, deserve that, whatever else. My personal experience is that second belief system, the one where I have to say, no, I can do this, or I do deserve this, or whatever else, isn't so strong. It feels like you're trying to convince yourself that those things are real, or those things are something that you believe. Whereas the subconscious belief system, the one that just happens, for me, yes, has been majoritively negative, but it feels that it's the one that it's more, I don't know what the word is, but it's more real, it's more solid. So when I started this job, I had a belief that I can do this. It's a really, really good job. It's a really nice place to work. And I was happy to grow with this company in however that looked. And it started with me just just working hard. I enjoy the job, so I just work at it and work at it and work at it. And if I remind you, I put a video up that was something to do with what would you rather be called, and it was like a bootlicker or something else. And the essence of that video was, I just worked hard at work, and the other employee was basically telling me, why do you work hard? It's not going to benefit you. And then here we are today, like, I get a promotion because of the efforts that I put in, because of my ethic towards work, because of how I've just focused and got my head down and pushed through. And it's quite interesting, shall we say, that this other employee was told on Friday that I was going to get the promotion, and they basically got really narky with me. They had a big problem with the fact that it was me and not them, and they weren't particularly nice about it. But the way that I look at it is, that person has threatened to hand their notice in 4 times in the last 9 months. Every time my boss has come to me with like extras to push myself forward, I've always said, what about that other employee? And my boss has always said, well, we've offered them first, and they say no, or they take too long, or, things like this. So while this employee is being a bit off with me, I kind of can't help but think it's their attitude. They were given the chances before I was, but they didn't want them. They don't like to do the work. They don't want to be there anymore. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. They're going to leave. They're going to do this. Whereas, yeah, you know what? Maybe I am just, a corporate bod that just turns up to do the work. But it's not hard work. It's really not hard work. I wish people would understand that there's so much worse jobs to be done. I'm not, on a rig doing oils. I'm not down a coal mine doing stuff like that. It might not be the most mentally stimulating 24 hours kind of thing job, but for me, it fits so well. It's creative. There's a lot of different aspects to the job that I've been allowed to learn. I really enjoy it. It's knackering. The last month, I've worked a lot of hours, and I feel completely and utterly faded because of it. But I've not once come home thinking, oh, this job is too much. Through therapy and through, realistically, this place of work, I've tried to find a better feeling of self. There's still a lot that's lacking. There's still a lot that I just don't feel okay with, and there's still a lot that I struggle with. I have been very lucky this year with the situations that I found myself in, without a doubt. You know that I feel like a jinx, that I have that kind of look. You know that I feel that I don't do well in situations because I feel that I put so much in and it bites me back. And like I say, that's still there in the back of my mind, even with this. But the opportunities that have been given to me through this tiny little place of work, the support that the 2 guys who own the business have given me, and the questions that they've asked, as simple as, we know you do therapy. Is there anything you need from us? And I get to say, just some work to do so that when I turn up Monday to Friday, I can do a job. That's all I need. And it works. And they have supported me, and I have tried to, work for them so that there's a fair balance. And it's scary to feel that something might actually be moving in the right direction. But what's even scarier is that it's so fast. I know it's really tricky to get that kind of situation, and it can take forever, basically, to find that sort of situation. But it makes so much difference to who you are as the individual. A lot of people say, there's no such thing as luck, and I don't know where I stand on that. A lot of my kind of rules of life, if you like, are brought through sport. And in sport, it's like you don't have luck, you create your own luck. Like, you swing that pendulum in your favor by doing certain things. And I feel that that is what I have done throughout my life. And, you know, I've swung that pendulum as much as I could, and it's just not quite been enough. And now, taking all of what I potentially have learned over the last few years, it feels that I'm actually benefiting, you know. In the past, it felt like I was trying to do so much, and maybe it was because it was the right thing to do, like trying to work really hard, trying to give your all to a business or something, just because that's the work ethic that I've been given, and I've sort of been told that that's what you do. You give 110%, and then the good things will follow. What that fails to miss out of is for the right people. You know, it just says you give 110%, you work hard, and good things will come through. It should read, you give 110%, you work hard, and good things will come through if it's with the right people. I think for me, it's because I've worked for small businesses. Small businesses, you feel more involved than you do for a large business. I would absolutely crumble if I had to go and work in a big old office somewhere with a big business, because you just don't matter. Whereas a little business, it's very important. Like, you feel your purpose a lot more. And especially for men, we need purpose. We need a reason. We need some sort of purpose to do something, rather than just the monotony of it going through. That's why a lot of guys just kind of feel so lost as we grow up, because things just lose their purpose, things lose their meaning. So to work for a small business, to be like as involved with it as what I feel I am, it gives me purpose, because it's like, if I take myself away, I'm not going to say that the business will fall. It won't. Obviously, everybody's replaceable. But I have a purpose to turn up to work. You know, I was learning this, I've been learning that, they're letting me learn the entirety of the business. And the purpose behind that is it lets me move up the ladder a bit more. I didn't think there was anywhere to go. This is a business that currently has the two bosses, me and another employee, 4 of us. We are taking on 2 more people. Where do you go from that? Like, you know, you have your job to do, and you do your job. And then they turn to you and say, hey, looking for a managerial spot. How do you manage one other employee? You know, it doesn't work. But when you listen to them and the direction that they want to take things, and you realize that if your attitude is right, this could work for you. And it's mental, because like I say, I've always had that same attitude of trying, and it's never really worked for me. If anything, it's usually kind of gone against me, but it's a weird one. It's changing that belief system, which I won't lie, has taken me so long to do. I've basically been having therapy for nearly a year now. I started in November, so, you know, it's that kind of timescale. It's 10 months almost of therapy. And it's been tough, because you do try and unwind a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that we have as a belief system that is ingrained in us, that we don't see any other way, that we don't believe there's any other way other than what we know. And to be able to slowly unpick that, I feel has really been positive. It's tried to narrow my focus down a bit and realize that, like I say, attitude is everything, without a doubt. And if you're given a situation, your attitude towards that situation makes all of the difference. And I suppose I've tried more recently to not take things personally, to look at the situation that unfolds and sort of not look at what I can benefit, but for want of a better word, look at what I can benefit. For example, when they approached me about being a manager, and I said, well, what about the other employee? I looked at it like, okay, if the other employee is the manager, how does that benefit me? And it's like what you can learn off each other. You can work with somebody else and you can drive things forwards. And they sort of asked me about how do I feel things are going to be with them, this other employee, and all I could say was it's down to their attitude, because I am willing to do the work with the employee to help them grow, to help them be in a position that they want to be in as well. But their attitude has to be right. And when they were told on Friday the situation that was going to happen, their attitude stunk. It's like, I can't help you if you don't want to help yourself. It's interesting when you have a feeling or a thought about something and then the outside world gives you a confirmation about it. But it's also extremely strange when you are used to having like a confirmation bias towards the negative, and that starts to stop happening, and you start having a positive confirmation. I don't know how to take that yet. I really don't. I am as excited as I am nervous about, basically being a manager, because there's a lot of responsibility, there's a lot of learning, but, trying to get my attitude in the right place, try and take it in my stride, not get overwhelmed by it, and move forward. And realistically, again, I'll probably do a separate video, but I'll throw it on here anyway. I just want to thank everybody because, like I said many times before, these videos and speaking out my thoughts, reading all the comments and going through everything really helps. It has massively helped me. It's all been part of like my sort of growth and my healing, really. Therapy is okay, work's been okay, but I still feel that being able to just talk and talk openly and share has massively been a big old help. It's been a huge part of it. Huge part of it. So I just wanted to say, I'm sorry that the videos have like really slowed down at the minute. I feel awkward sometimes recording them. I don't know how or when to record them. But also working hard has taken up a lot of time. But honestly, I just wanted to say, yeah, I know it sucks when things feel like they're constantly up against you, but if you can just find whatever it is that helps you switch that mindset to try and be more positive, or to try and be more open to doing things, I think, because I know that when we are down, when we are low, when we are blue, everything's negative. We don't feel like doing anything. Everything's against us. The world hates us. I might as well not be here anymore. We get those negative thoughts. And for me, they still turn up. I'm not going to lie, they still turn up. They're still there. But to have that willingness and that like real grit between the teeth, want to try, it's felt like it's been a better change. It's hard. I'm not going to lie to you, it is hard. And there are times where you feel like you can't be bothered, but I try and look at the benefit that I've felt since putting that effort in. And yes, I am completely aware that I've been extremely lucky. Extremely lucky. But I put that to that whole momentum thing, You make your own luck. I spent all those previous years giving my all to the wrong people, and it just crushed me. Whereas, you move around, you try and find what works for you, try and find something that gives you that little bit of a mental break. And at the minute, it feels like I am putting all my energy into the right place. I guess the message at the end of this video is, don't stop, don't settle, and don't give up on yourself. Because if I'd have just accepted that I was supposed to work in a job that was literally driving me to despair, I would have been more miserable than I could ever imagine. I don't think I'd have been half the person that I am today. And I just think I'd have been moody as hell just for trying to pick up a paycheck. I bit the bullet. I've changed various different works, and I sort of had it forced. I've had to change works due to, health and injuries and people letting me go and stuff. But there's always time. There's always a little bit extra that you can do. So when it feels like everything is against you, it's not over yet. There's always some sort of way out. It's just how you find it. Hope you guys are well. See you again next time. Love you guys.